Good morning. Well, here I am. I am new to this game. I thought I would try it out, check it out, see what was what. My name is Tanya Smith. I am 53 years old, and I wanted to do a video like this because I've seen all the other makeup tutorials and they're awesome. I think there's some amazing people out there that are doing some great things. And there are a lot of ladies that are younger than me, in their 20s, 30s, and 40s, who have done some great videos. And I've even seen a few that are in their 50s, and they're great too. But I wanted to do this video because there are a lot of women my age who feel like they've disappeared, where their contribution to whatever has diminished, which is kind of crazy to me because I'm like, I'm still here, so I don't know what the deal is. So I thought I wanted to give you a little background about myself. As I said, I'm 53. When I was around 40, no, let's start back. When I was 35, I got braces for the first time because I felt like my teeth were crooked and they needed some help, and I have a gap in my teeth. See, there it is, right there. And I went through a whole lot of procedures. I had a frenectomy done, and I had braces, and I wore retainers and everything. And basically what it came down to is this gap was just gonna stay. And I never really thought much about it. People never said, "Oh my gosh, you got a huge gap." I see it, and I know you see it too. But my teeth are straight for the most part, and I have a nice smile, so my gap really doesn't matter. When I was around 40, oh, here comes my dog Bumster. I have two dogs, so if you hear a bunch of snorting, it's because he's a pug, and he's adorable, and I love him, and I wouldn't trade him for the world, and he's 15, and he's just amazing. He's my bud. Anyway, when I was about 40, I decided, you know what? I need to get Botox because everybody I know is getting Botox, and they are, talking about how great Botox is. So when I was 40, I got Botox. Now, this towel is kind of pulling things back a little bit, and I'll explain why I have a towel on my head in a little bit. But if you can see right here, I have forehead lines. Surprise, surprise. And I have these 11s. See, when I do that, you can really see them. I have those. And so when I was 40, I got all of this Botoxed out and through here and everything. And I absolutely hated it. I thought I looked ridiculous. I was like, it looked pulled to me and shiny and ridiculous. And I couldn't make any facial expressions with my eyes, which at the time, I was a high school teacher. So I was up in front of students who are just so kind all the time, and I wasn't able to express anything at all. And I was like, "You students are really making me angry. You need to sit down." It was horrible. I hated it. And my husband, God bless him, he was like, "You do whatever you want to do, whatever." And I was like, "Okay, this is horrible. I hate this. I'm never doing this again." And guess what? I never did again. I never got Botox again. If you want to get Botox, my suggestion is this: get as little as possible. In other words, when they did me, I did all of this and all in through here, all the way around to like here. And so I essentially had a mask on the top of my face that was just, it was too much. And it was too shiny. I was like shiny as crap. In all the pictures I look up at, I just look like I'm like shiny. It's so weird. So I did that. Then I decided, okay, after a few years and the Botox wore off, thankfully, oh, I was so glad when that stuff was out of my face. I decided I need to have microdermabrasion because at the time I live in Florida, which is sunny all the time, and no matter what you do, you are exposed to sun. You just get sun exposure. There's no way to prevent it. Well, I mean there is, but it's just constant all the time. So because I am a white woman, I started getting these horrible brown patches right here on both sides of my face. Bad brown patches. And on my chin and right here. And anytime I went out into the sun, which was every single day because I live in Florida, but especially if I went to the beach, even if I wore SPF 50, my brown patches just showed tremendously. So I went and had microdermabrasion done, which is essentially, you know, they take the top layer of your skin off. And when I had it done, I was really brown. Really, you'll see women walking around in sunny climates that have like, it looks like they have on brown, way too much brown contour. And that's what I looked like. So I didn't like that. So I had microdermabrasion done. And I became a sunscreen Nazi. Like, I was like, you have to wear sunscreen all the time, especially on your face. My theory is everyone in the world sees your face. I don't really care what they think about my face. But it makes me feel good to know that I'm putting my best face forward, or whatever stupid, you know, thing you want to think about. So I try to look my best just because I like to. So I had that done, and that was really, of all the procedures I've had done, which it sounds like a lot, I guess it kind of is, but all the ones I've done, that one to me was the most valuable because it made me take my skincare seriously, and it made me think about the fact that my skin is super important in my overall health, just because, you know, your skin can tell you a lot about what's going on in your body. So that was a procedure. I would recommend that one, especially if you have the dark patches and you're like, oh, this is looking kind of scary. Of course, you should go see your dermatologist first, because they will tell you, you know, number one, if you should have it done, because not everybody should have it done, especially if you have active skin cancer, you should not have it done. But two, you should have it done if you really want to make like a giant difference really fast. But be fair warned, the day after you get microdermabrasion done, your skin looks, and I'm not lying, like a red tomato. You are as red as a tomato, and it's inflamed, and you have to put Vaseline, like straight up petroleum jelly, on that skin to help it heal and to help it stay moisturized, and you look downright scary. It's frightening. So be warned that you're not going to get microdermabrasion and then go to work the next day. Oh no, you are not, because you are going to look, in fact, you're probably not going to leave your house because it's scary. So, but I would still recommend it. I would say that when I felt comfortable going out of my house, because I'm like, I don't know, sensitive about that, it was probably a full week before I went out of the house. And when I did, I made sure I was wearing a hat, and I protected that skin for a long time. So I guess that was when I was about 43, 44 that I had that done. And like I said, I just became like, you have to wear sunscreen. Whatever product you use, it has to have sunscreen in it, especially if you live in a sunny climate like Florida, which I do, which also influenced some of my other choices. Next, the next procedure I had done, this seems like, I can't, now that I'm counting it up, I'm like, wow, that's really crazy, was 6 months ago. And I had a procedure where they tightened my neck. Supposedly, I am in the still getting to the final result phase of my recovery. Here's what I have to say. I've done it once. I won't do it again. Here's why. So my neck, before, I had lots of jowly issues going on, and I had lots of lines, and I had fat hangover, and I just was unhappy. I had a weird, like, my profile went from like here to like right here, just straight neck and loose skin and weirdness and of course fat, because, you know, I'm 53. Who cares? So I had it done, and I won't have it done again, and here's why. I feel like that the benefit wasn't worth the cost. And I don't mean the monetary cost. It cost $4,000 to do. What I don't like is they tell you when you have it done that scarring is a potential. And so, of course, I got scarring because, you know, whatever. So here's what I have. So what they do is they put these instruments in here and in here, and it's like first they put in like numbing gel, and they numb it all out, and then they put in these, it's kind of like liposuction, but it's not liposuction. It's like heat, and it kind of melts the fat, and yeah. So they put it all in here, right? So because it's heat, there's the scarring potential is from burning. So what I have on my face over here, right there, and under my chin, is some heat scarring that will never go away. Never. Now I will say that this one over here has gotten lighter. It was dark brown and actually kind of scary, and the skin was broken and everything. So I think it was really, really damaged right there. Which, you know, what was the point of me getting a procedure to look better if it was going to scar my face? So I put aloe vera on it all the time, you know, especially in the beginning. I put aloe vera on it and vitamin E and all kinds of things to diminish it. And I think that helped some, but I'm really I'm disappointed because I got a procedure done to look better, and now I have a permanent scar on my face right there and under my chin. And you can see under here, the skin is kind of not looking like I wanted it to. So I won't do it again. I figure, you know, they're like, oh, these effects will last 5 years. And I'm like, okay, well, in 5 years I'll be 58 and maybe I'll feel differently, but I don't think I will. They said I was not a candidate for a facelift at this time because guess what? I've taken care of my face. So I would not recommend that procedure. I still have some of the same issues that I had before. I think it looks better, but I'm not like, oh, that was so dramatic and so great for me. So having said that, I would not do it again. Now, let's get on to what's going on today. What I'm doing is what I call my everyday, I'm going to the grocery store makeup look, I suppose. And I wanted to do this because I see a lot of women my age, and you can tell, like you can really, really tell that they've been watching YouTube videos of 20-year-olds because they have on 20-year-old makeup, and it doesn't look right. It doesn't look good. It just doesn't look good. And they do what they're going to do. But I thought I would put this out and just go like, you know what, here's what you can do. It's not a lot. It's pretty basic. And you won't look like a crazy cuckoo. Or you won't look like you're trying to be 20. Oh my gosh, I do not want to look like I'm 20. I don't. 20 was great. 25 was great. 30 was great. 40 was great. But I'm 53 and I'm like really comfortable where I am right now. I exercise. I run. I eat right mostly, except for I'm never giving up ice cream. I don't care what anyone says. I'm never giving up ice cream. It's just not going to happen. I'm also not going to give up enchiladas. So sue me. You know, and I take care of myself. But I do not want to look like I'm 30 or 20 because then it kind of negates where I came from. So I'm gonna switch back a little bit. So I used to be a high school teacher. I was a high school teacher for 12 years. Loved it, loved it, loved it, loved it. Super stressful, super duper stressful. I could not do it for 25, 30 years because I would stress out all the time about my students and about the work and about the workload, and was I taking care of my own family? And it was just too much. So when I started to get burned out, I left. I took a year off, and then I decided to become a veterinary nurse because I always liked working with animals, and I loved animals, and I've always been around animals. I wanted to do it. So I became a veterinary nurse. Loved every minute of it. I think about going back all the time, and I'll tell you why I left later. I think about it all the time because it is such a rewarding job. Super stressful, super duper stressful. Your veterinarians are really unappreciated. You really need to be nice to them. They have a very hard job, and it's very stressful, and they're very sensitive people. And one of the things that people don't understand is people that are in veterinary medicine, whether it's the receptionist at the desk, the kennel cleaner, the daycare person, the veterinarian, the technician, the lab workers, they all are super sensitive people who really love animals, like love them. And every single one of their clients is so special to them. So when you're at your veterinary office and your veterinarian says, oh, it's going to cost A, B, or C, it's going to cost $65 for a lab test, please don't look them in the eye and say, well, you're clearly in this for the money. Because I guarantee they are not. They are trying to help your family member, which is your pet, and they are trying to make sure that they're doing the best care that they can for your pet. Also remember, you do have the option of saying no. And I know that seems weird because, on the one hand, your veterinarian is really going to recommend something that they really and truly believe needs to be done. Number two, you have the option to say no. That does not make you a bad pet parent. It just means that you can't afford it right now. And that's okay. And your veterinarian understands that. And a lot of times you would be amazed at how many free services veterinarians or discounted they give because they want your pet to be okay. So that's just a side note for me. I'm sorry I got on a little rant there, but veterinarians are really awesome people, and people that work in veterinary offices are really underappreciated. So be kind to them. They love your dog, they love your cat just as much as you do. Even if your cat or dog bites them every time they're in their office. And don't say my dog never bites, because yes, they do. I've been bitten. Anyway, so I became a veterinary nurse, and I loved it, and then I left. Some family stuff came up, and I needed to be available 24/7 to certain people. So I left, and when I was away from the veterinarian, dealing with all my family drama and issues and everything, I decided that I would not go back to veterinary nursing because I couldn't do the euthanasias anymore. And that's where you put your dog or cat down to sleep because they need to. So I couldn't do that anymore. So I was like, okay, now what am I going to do? So I took some time off, and I wrote a novel. And I wrote a book, and then my dear, wonderful husband published it for me. It's available on Amazon, on Kindle. It's called Little Mysteries by Tanya K. Smith. It's a pink cover. If I had one like right handy, I'd pick it up and show it to you. But anyway, oh, there just went a bug through my through my camera work. This is live. This is my lighting, my stupid little office light, my little my camera on my computer. As you can tell, I am not a professional in any way, shape, or form. Anyway, so I wrote a novel, and I did that. And then one day, I was just watching these tutorials, and I was like, okay, I'm going to do one for 53-year-old women so they don't look crazy cuckoo, that they're taking care of their skin, and they're probably taking care of some of the same issues I have. So, finally, after all of that, here we go. So I took a shower, and I have my hair in a towel because it keeps the hair out of my face while I'm working on my face. And I like for my hair to towel dry or air dry more than heat styling, because when you're 53 and your hormones are getting crazy, your hair breaks and falls out, especially if you're genetically predisposed to, which I am. So, you know, there's that. So my hair tends to break off and fall out if I put too much heat styling in it. So I try to stay away from that as much as possible. So the first thing I'm going to do, my face is completely and utterly clean. I had some waterproof makeup or mascara on earlier. I took it off with micellar water because I like it. It's effective. You should use it, you know, whatever. And use whatever brand you want. They're all the same. They're all the same. So just use whatever you want. Now the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to prep my face. And what I'm going to do, if you look right here, under my eyes, I have like these little baggy wrinkles, puffiness, and you can see I have like really hooded eyelids, and they're, you know, because I'm 53, so sue me. So I'm going to use this Garnier gel stuff that depuffs. It's a cooling gel that depuffs out from underneath here, and so I'm going to roll that on. It has this neat little stainless steel roller, so I'm going to roll that on. Boop. Boop. And then I put it up here too, just because I have little poofies. This is really weird for me to do it on camera. Also, I wear glasses, so I can't see really very well right now. So I put that on, and then what I do is I just go dab, 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 dab. You know, just kind of pat it in. And it's really quick drying. So even right now as I'm doing this, it's already drying, which is great. So I just kind of go like that. And then I let it do its thing. It's doing its thing right now. And while it's doing its thing, I use my moisturizer. Now I use moisturizer. This is Oil of Olay. Oil of Olay Complete, it says, with SPF 15. SPF 15. Loves, if you live in a sunny climate like Florida, you have to wear sunscreen. You absolutely have to. You're going to get skin cancer, and you know, it's not pretty. It's just not pretty. So I put it on, and I kind of warm it up with my hands a little bit, and then I just kind of moosh it around on my nose. I go up and I go down, and people are like, oh, you should always go only up. You should always go only up. And I'm like, yeah, but sometimes I forget. So there's that. And I put it all on, and you can see it makes me shiny, and because I'm working with my face, it makes it red. What a surprise. You know, there's so many videos I see where they like put stuff on their face, and it doesn't change the color of their face. Like they're not even touching their face. I am not like that. If you touch my face, it's going to turn red. Now, I do my neck, too. Because, you know, I'm just trying, folks. I'm not, you know, I don't want to look 30, but I don't want to look 80. So, I want to look 53. That's what I am. So, you can see, I'm, like, going up. And I'm getting on my décolleté right here. Just because, you know, why not? And see, you can tell I'm actually touching my skin because my skin down here is now redder than it was as up here because I've been actually manipulating my face. I don't know what they're doing in those other videos, but you know, they like put stuff on and nothing happens. Their face color doesn't change. And I can't figure it out. Maybe they're just better at lighting than me. That's probably it. Now, because I live in Florida, and those of you that live in a hot, humid climate, like Florida is almost all the time, you know that makeup melts right off your face. So, to that end, I've just put on my moisturizer, and I'm going to let it soak in, you know, or absorb into my skin for a little bit. I typically don't use foundation. For two reasons. Number one, it's going to melt off my face. And when I say melt off my face, what I mean is, okay, first of all, your skin is 98.6 degrees already because that's normal human body temperature. So there's heat going on behind it. But when you live in Florida, there's heat coming behind it from your skin and heat in front of it from the hot, humid climate. And what happens is your makeup just, it melts off your face. Except for in your lines, and it sticks right in those lines and right across. And like I said, you know, before I showed you, I have these forehead lines So right across here and right in here and around my lips, I have lip lines. Guess what? I never smoked. Never. My theory is drinking out of straws. You know, because you're doing the same action as you would when you're smoking. But I have lip lines. Okay. And so when that makeup melts off, it melts off everywhere but in those lines. And what ends up happening is your lines show. And you look significantly older and significantly less put together. So, to that end, I do not typically wear foundation. What I do use, though, is I do use some cream concealer. And I have two colors here, and I will explain why. These are just, I can't even see the label on it because I don't have my glasses on, but here it is. This is what it is. CoverGirl something or other. And I use two colors for a couple of reasons. So this color is the darker color, and I use it on this scar that I have over here. I'm just going to stick that on there. And you'll notice I wasn't like super careful about where I put it, but I'm just going to pat it in, just kind of blend it a little bit. Now, I don't know if you can see this right here. This is also a nice little facial blemish that I have. It is not a pimple, it's a cyst. It needs to be drained. I know. I just don't like going to the dermatologist and being, you know, my face kind of open and all that. It is what it is. So I do the dark one on there, and I'll do it under here. And I just kind of pat it in a little bit, just to give it a little bit of a blend. Whatever. That's the dark one. That's to cover up my most quote-unquote serious flaws. They're not that serious. Then I use the light one to go across my upper lip. And under my eyes. And I don't put on very much. This seems like, in fact, as I'm doing this, I'm like, wow, that's kind of a lot. I typically don't do that much because I know what's going to happen in the Florida sun. And then I'll just rub this in, like, you know, I get it in that crease. It's a lighter color, so when it starts to melt off in the Florida sun, it won't be dark and it won't accentuate those lines too much. And then I'm just going to pat this in a little bit. By now, that cooling gel has done whatever it's going to do for the day. You know, you work with what you got. You know, don't sweat it so much. And then what I do, because I have a large bridge nose, which I considered doing rhinoplasty one time, and then I was like, oh, heck no, because I saw the procedure online, and I was like, you know what? Not doing that. That's just not for me. And also, this is kind of like the genetic nose of my family, so why would I want to take that away? Now, so as you can see, the bridge of my nose is kind of wide. It's wide here, and it comes down to a little bulby right there, which is great. But I want to make it look just a little bit thinner. So I'll take my light color and I'll go along the side right here, just like that, and like this. So now I have that. And then I'll just kind of blend it down. You know, just a little bit. I don't want it to like, and then I guess I should do it right here too. I don't know. Clearly I don't know what I'm doing. So that's why you should follow my advice, because clearly I don't know what I'm doing. Now, I don't know if you can tell. I think you can. But right above my eyebrow, here's my eyebrow, I have this dark patch right here. That's from sun exposure, and for some unknown reason, this particular side, I think it's because I drive in the car and it's just beating on that all the time. and it just is what it is, but I have some sun damage there. So I'm going to use this light to just kind of, and you'll see, I'm just kind of going squiggle, squiggle. There, it's a circle, whoopee-doo. And then I'm just going to kind of rub it in a little bit right there. And I use my fingers. You know, a lot of women will use sponges and things like that. And that's great, but I don't know. I just have always used my fingers, and it's just more comfortable to me. So now I have on my two concealers. The dark one for the scar that I have over here. The light one for under my eyes, across my top lip, down my nose, and my sunscreen, or my sunspot. Alright, so that's it as far as foundation goes. Now, I'm going to do my face powder. And what I use a kabuki brush because you get a little bit more coverage. This is L'Oreal True Match in a color that matches my skin mostly pretty well. I'm a firm believer, so you probably can see I have freckles. I do not believe in covering up your freckles to where you can't see them at all. Now, I am covering them up. I'm muting them is what I would say. But it's okay if you have freckles. Don't cover them up. They're beautiful. Just, it's your skin. Calm down. So I'm going to take my kabuki brush and I'm just kind of swirling around like this, tap off the excess. And then I'm just going around my face. And I really like a kabuki brush because it's, like I said, it's a little more full coverage. It's a little prettier. It makes it, I don't know, I just like it. And it's faster. You're not, you know, I see girls and ladies online that have like 65, I don't know what that is flying around. I guess that's makeup. They have all these 100,000 brushes, which I have a lot of brushes. You'll see them all. So I'm just kind of going around, and then I'll build it up a little bit. Just a little. I'll put some over here. Put some over here. Now you notice I did not do my eyes, and I'll explain why later. So there, that's done. That's my foundation for the day. When it starts to come off, you're going to see my natural skin. Natural skin is not that bad, so don't worry about it. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my blush. And yes, I call it blush. I don't know. Some people, you know, some people do that contouring stuff. I don't do that because I don't like the way it looks on me, because I think it looks like I'm trying like super hard. And this is, again, is what I call my grocery store makeup. This is I gave it just a little bit of a try. Let's not sweat it. So this is, I can't read it. So this is a blush of a color I like. How about that? I actually got this one. This I think is Kaleidoscope from an Ipsy thing, and I really like this color. I like this color on me. Let's see if I can get a good shot of it. There we go. I really like that color. It's got a little bit of a shimmer, which I like. So I'm going to wear that today. I had the other one out, but I think I'm going to wear this one today. And I changed my blush color. What a surprise. Sometimes I'm peachy. Sometimes I'm pink. Sometimes I'm rose. Sometimes I'm a little bit darker red. It's all good. So here's my blush. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on the apple and up. Just kind of like that. This is really hard to do on camera, just so you know. Like that. Ta-da! And then I'm going to do the other cheek on the apple, so I'll kind of give myself a smirk and up. Like that. Now, it looks a little crazy right now because remember before when I put on all of that moisturizer and how red it made my face look because the blood was being pumped to the skin? Shocking, but true. This is the same is true of this brush. So I just put this on and it's touched my skin so it looks darker than it actually is. Even as I'm looking at it right now, I'm kind of not liking the darkness of it, so I'm going to fix that in a minute. by simply putting on some more powder foundation. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my eyes. Again, this is a natural going to the grocery store look. This is not a glam look. This is just like, I'm going to the store and I don't want to frighten small children. So there's that. So I have a Maybelline palette. It's neutral browns. Don't be frightened by neutral browns. It's all good. So I'm going to start with the lightest color. That's this, it's kind of shimmery. And I'm going to use that as a base color for my whole eye. So I'm going to start at my eyebrow. And I'm going to go all the way on my lid. And I'm just kind of brushing it on. Now, what I tend to do, I tend to block the color on my face first, and then I will blend it. And the reason I do that is it saves me time. I am kind of a lazy makeup person, so I'm like, if it's going to save me a little time, I'm going to do that thing. So my phone is in the other room ringing, so there's that. And like I said, this is really hard for me to do on camera, but I'm doing the best I can. I'm just putting this base color on here. And I put it all over here too. Okay, so that's the base color. And like I said, it's just blocked on. It's like nothing fancy. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put like a darker color on my lid, like halfway, just because that's what I've been taught to do. Now I'm actually going to use my close-up mirror because I really can't see. So I'm going to do that. So excuse me for this angle that you're about to get. And I'm just blocking it in. So you can see I put that dark like right there. And my eyelids are really wrinkly because I'm 53, and that's okay. It's all good. So now I've blocked that color on, and then what I'm going to do, I'm changing brushes to like a little fuller color brush. I'm taking this really super dark color right here, and I'm going to cut my crease in, even though they're like, oh, if you're at a certain age, you shouldn't do that. I do a lot of things that I shouldn't do at a certain age, so this is one of those things. Again, excuse the angle that you're getting right here, but I'm just going to cut this in right here. And wait till you see what this looks like before I blended it, because you'll be like, holy crap, this looks terrible. Yes, I know, it does look terrible. But how many women do you see walking around all the time with their eyeshadow and it looks like this? It's just like blocked on like that, and they haven't blended it at all. So to me, this looks crazy, and it looks like, hey world, look at my makeup instead of my face. Well, I kind of like my face, so I want you to look at my face and not so much my makeup. So I've done that. I've blocked in the color. That is it. Now I'm going to take my beautiful, I can't tell you. When I got my first blending brush, it was life-changing. Because in the old days, back in the 70s and 80s, when we were still wearing blue eyeshadow, like electric blue and crazy looking, this is what we used to blend. We used our fingers, and which worked great, except for it took a lot of the color off. And so we ended up looking like we had fingerprints in our makeup, because we did. So when I first found a blending brush, well, somebody was telling me about them all along, and I was like, yeah, whatever. And then I was like, okay, I'll try one. You know, what have I got to lose? Nothing. I can look prettier. Okay, well, I'll take that. So I got a blending brush, and let me tell you, it was life-altering, because I was like, this is what I've been trying to do with my finger for 20 years. I don't know why I was so resistant, but I was. So now here we have my blending brush, which I love more than most. I love more than I should. So we're going to blend. So I'm gonna do it right here, because I can kind of see a little bit. So I'm just taking that dark color that I just put in and I'm blending it up. And you can see my wrinkly eyelids being their wrinkly, wonderful self. And I'm just going to blend all of every single bit of that eyeshadow that I put on. That base coat, that lighter brown, this darker brown, and I'm blending it all in. Now, I want you to look at the difference. Here I am, crazy cuckoo and unblended. And do you see how it's like dark in some places and light in others? That's because I have wrinkles. And so it grabbed onto the top part of the wrinkle and not the other part. Now, over here, I'm blended. And so it looks a lot better. And then I'm going to steal a line from a movie that I can't remember the name of, but Lauren Bacall was in it, who I love. And she said, when you blend your makeup, blend until you think it's blended, and then blend a little more. I think that's terrific advice. So you can see, I was like, I need to blend a little bit more right here. And so it's just a little bit, it's subtle, but still, you know, you can still see how lovely it looks. And then we have this unblended side that looks crazy cuckoo. And when you see women walking around like this, I swear, I just want to run up and go, here, let me fix you. But I don't do that because that's rude and it's none of my business. So my towel's coming off my head right now, and that's okay because I'm going to take it off and I'll show you what my hair looks like when it's wet. Because I'm a real person. I get wet hair when I get in the shower. Surprise, surprise. So there it is. I'm just going to keep it back like this. And look, you can see my gray roots where I haven't colored in a while, so because I'm lazy about that. So let me just blend this in over here. Okay, wow, that white towel really did something. Oh, maybe it's the sunlight coming in my window. This is my office, by the way. I converted one of my kids' bedrooms into an office after they grew up and moved away and all that good stuff. And this is where I wrote my novel. And when I made my office, I made it like I wanted it to, so it's a real neutral color, and it's got that real pretty painting back there, and my little blue couch that's covered up with a blanket because my dog Lucy likes to lay on it, and my square lamps, and it's just the way I want it because why not? So I didn't like the way that looked just then, so I'm going to blend some more. Blend, 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 blend. And I'm just swirling it around and blending it. Voila! Looks pretty blended. I'm going to change the light just a little bit. There it is, a little bit brighter. Here it is, a little bit darker. There's a little bit darker. I'm just moving my light around. It's my little office lamp, so you can kind of see the different lighting. All right, I'm going to do like this. Move back a little bit. Is that better? I don't know. I think I actually like it right like that. So now I've got this all blended in, and you can see I'm blending some more because I'm obsessed with blending because I do not want to look crazy. So there's my eyeshadow. Next is my eyebrows. So because I started turning gray, my eyebrows start right here. They do not start over here. They don't start, I've seen women with eyebrows that start down here. Mine don't start there. Therefore, if I create an eyebrow that comes down here and goes like this, to me, it's an unnatural look, which I don't like. I like a more natural look, especially if I'm just going to the grocery store. So I'm going to start with my natural brow, which starts about right here. And you can hardly see them because they're gray. And I'm just going to come up like this over here. And then start right here. And come up and over like this. And I'm using a brush and brow powder, which is essentially brown eyeshadow. But they have this like little goopy stuff over here. This like little Vaseline stuff, and they're like, oh, put the little Vaseline stuff in and then put the brow makeup on. But remember what I said about Florida? What do you think your eyebrows look like when you put Vaseline stuff on and then brow powder and you go outside where it's 90 degrees and your body's already 98? Your eyebrows melt, and they melt down because of gravity. And so you end up looking like you're going to a Halloween costume party. It is not a good look. Therefore, I don't like the way this is looking over here. I'm going to just blend a little bit with my finger. I'm going to use just the powder. I'm not going to use the Vaseline stuff because I know in my heart of hearts that it is going to melt off my face and look way worse than just brow powder. So I'm going to do this, and I'm going to use my little mirror over here because I can't see, and because the camera is so far away, I can't like do it in the camera. So I'm going to do it like this. So excuse me. You know, I try not to be rude to people and ignore them, but you know, because you know, I was born and raised in the South. I was born and raised in Texas. And that's why I'm putting on makeup to go to the grocery store. Because, okay, so there's one brow kind of done. So I put a little bit of dark here. I'm going to blend this out a little bit. And that's what my eyebrows actually look like in real life. That's like actual hair that starts right there. It doesn't start over here. It doesn't start down here. So I'm not going to put makeup there. I don't, you know, my eyebrows do this. So that's where I'm going to do them. I'm not going to change them just because somebody else thinks that I should have eyebrows that are bushier and are, you know, whatever. I don't. Okay, so here's something fun that they don't tell you as you get older. So, you know, when you're plucking your eyebrows in your 20s and you're like, oh my gosh, I have to pluck them all the time. When you're 50, you barely have to pluck them. It's like they don't grow back like they used to. And so eventually you'll end up with an eyebrow shape that you wanted when you were 20, because that's what happens. You plucked them all out, and the ones that don't grow back, well, they don't grow back. And so now you just have normal eyebrow shape. So this is my actual, I have not colored anything in that doesn't have hair. The only reason you couldn't see it before is because the hair is gray and or clear, which I think is kind of weird. I have very few brown hairs left. It is what it is. My natural hair color is brown. It is not this blonde that I colored it. And yes, I colored my hair. Surprise, surprise. But that's just, you know. So I'm just coloring in my eyebrows, which I kind of like my eyebrows. You know, I'm happy with them. I don't feel the need to like do a whole lot of changing. So there's my eyebrows. So now I've done my eyebrows. I've done my eyeshadow. I've done everything that I need to do except for mascara. What I'm going to do today, just because I'm going for a little bit, you know, of a grocery store look every day. Typically, I would do some eyeliner, but I don't want to do eyeliner today. I just don't feel like it. So guess what? I'm not going to do it. Sort of. When I mean eyeliner, I mean like, you know, the crayon where you would do like above your eyebrow, or excuse me, your eyelashes, and right below your eyelashes, you know, and so on and so forth. You know, I've done a cat eye before. I don't particularly care for it because, again, it makes me look like I'm 53 trying to be 23, and I don't like that look at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that same brow powder that I was just using, and I'm going to go in right underneath my lower lashes. And I'm only going to, you know, it's just going to be like a dusting. It's not going to be like a whole full on because I just don't feel like it today. So I'm not going to do it. So let me do that. Excuse me again. I'm just taking my brush and I'm just tapping it pretty much underneath my eyelashes on the bottom. And what you'll see, I'm going to try to get it in as close as I can. So I've done that eye. So you can see it's just subtly lined, whatever. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get in really close with this eye because I want you to see something. Okay, so see underneath my eyelashes, my eyelids are wrinkled. And so when you put the powder on, you kind of have to be aware of that and just kind of know that that powder is going to settle into anything that's dark. It's going to settle in those lines. So in one sense, it's kind of like, well, dang, that's not great. And in the other sense, it's kind of like, okay, but I'll still look like I have lined eyes for a little bit longer in the Florida heat. So it's a catch-22. You know, whatever makes you happy. So now I've done both. or excuse me, now I've done this one. So you can see it's just a little bit lined here, and this one is totally not. So I'm going to do the other one, excuse me. And I'm just, what I'm doing is I'm just taking my brush and I'm just tapping it in like that. I didn't really get a whole lot on there, so let's try that again. I'm using the same lightish color. There is a dark, you know what, now that I look at it, I think what I want to do, I've done this light color. I did this light brown color, but I think I'm going to use this dark one underneath there because I think it'll just give me a little more definition. So that's what I feel like doing, so that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to do that right now and just put the darker, yeah, I like that a little bit better. Just a little bit, because it's just a little bit more defined, a little bit more, yeah, I like that better. And I don't worry so much about my makeup on my eyes being like completely evened, and I'll explain why. I wear glasses. I do not wear contacts. I cannot wear contacts. It's a thing. And so if my makeup is a little bit uneven, I don't worry about it too much because my glasses do have a tendency to what do you call it? It's not even it out. It's just kind of like my glasses are a little bit tinted because I live in Florida and I want to have my eyes protected all the time. So there's that. Now, what I'm going to do, remember earlier when I said I didn't like how shiny it was looking here and it just looked a little bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take not my kabuki brush, but my regular brush. It's the same one I use the blush on. Holy mackerel. Actually, I'm going to put a little bit more right there. And I'm going to take my powder, my True Match powder, and I'm going to powder my face all over again. I've got all the powders on. I've got my base powder. I've got my blush. I have my eye powder, my eyeshadow, and my brow powder, and all of that. Everything is powdered. So now I'm just essentially setting it and blending it a little bit. So I don't have my kabuki brush. I just have my regular blush brush that I was using before. And I'm just going to get in here and just kind of do a little like this. And yeah, I'm even doing some on the eyes. It's all good, people. I still feel like it looks a little shiny right here. That may just be lighting. Like I said, this is not professional, so I don't know what. You know, it is what it is. The last thing I'm going to do is mascara. And I tend to wear mascara every single day. I like it, so I wear it. As I said yesterday, I was wearing waterproof, which I like in Florida because it's humid all the time. But today, I want to kind of give my eyelashes a break, so to speak. And so I'm just using regular, actually this says it's waterproof too. No, it says it's water resistant. Whatever. This is black. Sometimes I'll use like a brown, but today I'm using black, and it's called Ultra. Oh shoot, that's liner. Okay. So I don't have the mascara I was going to use, so I'm going to use my regular mascara. And this is this kind, which you can see the label's rubbed off because I use it every day. And I actually am buying some new today because it's probably right at the end of its robe. So I'm just going to put some mascara on my eyelashes up here and on the lower lashes. So I'm going to do that. So excuse me while I look in my little mirror over here. My computer just told me it can't update. Whoopie-doo. Alright, so I'm going to put my mascara on. And I think because I'm going to kind of give them a break today, is I'm putting on a fairly light coat. Depending on the day, I might go over it again just to give it some extra oomph. But today, I'm just going kind of light with it. And I got to do the under eyelash. Like so. And that's going to define my eyes underneath there a little bit. You know, and there's all kinds of ways to put on mascara. I tend to use the little where you put it at the base, you squiggle it a little and then go out to the tip, you know. Okay, I need to stop with that. So now I have on my mascara, and you can see what it did is it made my eyes pop just a little bit more. So that is all the makeup I'm going to put on today. And here's what happens when I put my glasses on. These are my glasses. So see what, and because, you know, the light refracts off the glasses and stuff, you don't see my eye makeup so much, which is okay with me. It does magnify my beautiful green eyes, so I like that. And it just kind of gives me, you know, it is, I can see, so that's a bonus. It does tend to accentuate these eye wrinkles under here. Oh well, too bad, so sad. I'm going to go fix my hair, and then I'll come back and I'll talk about something else. So let me just pause this for a moment. Alright, so I went and I blew my hair dry, and I used a little bit of an InStyler curling thing on it. Today, my hair does not want to look perfect, and I'm okay with that because I am not perfect either. And, you know, if I walked around with perfect looking hair, it's just going to get blown by the wind today, because today is, you know, we had a hurricane come by Florida yesterday, which is really bad for the people in the panhandle. And so we're having residual wind effects today, and so it's a windy day here. My first thought was to just blow it dry and stick it in a ponytail, because again, I'm just going to the grocery store, and then I remembered, oh no, I got to go to Home Depot and I have to go to Target too, and Lord knows I'm going to see some of my friends in Target. So there's that. The last thing I'm going to do for this video is I'm going to put on some lip color. I do not like lipstick. I hate lipstick, in fact. I won't wear lipstick. It makes me feel gross, and because I have the lines in my lips, it settles weird. It looks terrible. I don't like lipstick. I will never wear lipstick. Even when I'm doing a fancy thing, you know, where I gotta look like, ooh, I gotta look so pretty, I will not be wearing lipstick. I will be wearing lip gloss. I will be wearing something else, because I hate lipstick. I've never liked the way it feels on my lips. You know, like, oh, it's so smooth. No, it's not. It's cakey. It's gross. I've tried everything from 55 to $1.05 to 95 cents and everything in between. It all feels the same. I don't like it. I'm not going to wear it. The end. But what I am going to wear today is some Burt's Bees. I freaking love Burt's Bees. I like the way it feels on my lips because it's smooth and it's, you know, whatever. And this one is a colored one, which, what's not to love about that? I get a little bit of lip color and I get some beautiful smoothness. I believe this one's called Hibiscus, which I really, really like. That's what the color is in the tube. I'm going to put it on my lips, and then, you know, occasionally I will wear a lip liner and some colored lip gloss. But today I just feel like the Burt's. You know, that's just the way it is. So I'm going to put this on in my mirror over here. Excuse me again for ignoring you for about 10 seconds. And I like it also because, you know, when you put on lipstick, you have to be kind of precise. And I'm not that precise. Oh my gosh, it feels so good. So there's my Burt's Bees, my colored lip Burt's Bees. It looks shiny and polished, and it makes my smile look nice. And it feels good, and I know that it's moisturizing my lips, which is also good, especially when you get to be my age. It's all about moisture, which is why sometimes I will wear a foundation just for the extra moisture. But typically that's only in like January, that 2 weeks in January when we get winter here in Orlando. So there's that. But this just feels really good, and I think it looks nice too. It gives me a little polished look. And now for the pièce de résistance, I have my hair fixed, I have my makeup fixed, and now I'm going to put on my glasses. And this is what I look like today. For going to the grocery store, I don't look overmade. I look kind of natural. I will tell you this, when I went into that other room where my bathroom is and it has the lights above, I didn't like how shiny I looked. And the reason I look shiny is because of the Oil of Olay moisturizer. Tomorrow, when I get up or like tonight when I take off all my makeup and whatnot, I'll moisturize really, really good so that maybe tomorrow I won't have to wear moisturizer. What a shock. I don't moisturize every single day. I don't. But I do wear SPF. Now, the powders that I put on, the blush powder and my makeup powder also has SPF. So at this moment, I probably have about SPF 30 on my face, which is kind of okay. I would like it to be more, but it's not. And I think I'm okay. It'll do for today. So this is what I look like to go to the grocery store. I have my hair fixed somewhat. It's kind of a casual do. I'm okay. It was looking a little bit witchy after I blew dry it, so that's why I took the InStyler to it. Otherwise, I would have just not. And here I am. I wanted to do like a mid-body shot. There's no reason for you to see my butt. But I wanted you to see that, number one, I am not a thin 53-year-old woman. I'm an average-sized 53-year-old woman. Earlier I said that I run 3 times a week. I'm currently, I got into my head a few weeks ago to do a 5K, which I've never, ever, 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 ever run before in my life. I take that back. I ran some in middle school, which was a long, 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 long time ago. And so I got it to my head. I wanted to do a 5K, so I researched how to do it. My husband's a big exercise guy. He exercises all the time, does triathlons and all that crap. And so I was like, I want to do a 5K. So I got on my phone and I got the Couch to 5K app, which I highly, highly recommend because, as I said, I was on the couch. And I am on week 8, the second day of week 8. Yesterday was Wednesday, so that was the second day. So Friday, I will run again. And literally the first day of running on that app, you run for 1 minute and you walk for 1.5 minutes, and you do that 6 times. And I'm not lying to you when I tell you that that first day, I thought I might actually have a heart attack and die. It was so hard, and I thought, what in the world have I got myself into? I don't even know if I can do this. But I'm going to tell you that I just kept with the program. I just kept with it 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then there was a time when I had to like switch it to Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. That's okay. I was still doing it 3 times a week, which was what I wanted to do. And yesterday, I'm so proud of myself. I ran, so you do these intervals. So it's like run 1, walk 1.5. And then later it's run 2, walk 1 minute, and so on and so forth. And then pretty soon you get down to run 4 minutes and walk for 30 seconds. And it tells you what to do. It's so great. So yesterday I had 1 interval. So you do a 5-minute warm-up, which for me is a 5-minute walk. And then my 1 interval yesterday was to run for 28 minutes. Solid, no walking. Just solid running. And guess what? I did it. I did 28 minutes of nonstop running. And when I stand up, you'll be like, well, she don't look like a runner. No, I do not. I am a 5'2", squatty body, chunky monkey. But I ran for 28 minutes yesterday. And so tomorrow, the interval is for 30 minutes. And I can't hardly wait because I'm like, I know I can do it. I know for a fact I can do it. And then on Monday, it's the last run of the 5K program. I actually run a 5K, which I'm very excited about because I know I can do it. And then what I did is I signed up for like a bubble run in November. And I know, first of all, for a fact that I'll be able to run the entire time, which is awesome. And for 2, it's just going to be a lot of fun. And I wanted to do a fun one at first because I was so insecure and so nervous about running when I first decided to do this, that's what I did. So anyway, I'm going to stand up and show you like a waist-up shot of me so you can see like, okay, so she's 53. She's a runner. I am not super thin. You can probably tell. I gotta get some meat on my bones. And I am perfectly happy with the way I look. because I've taken care of my face. And believe me, if you haven't taken care of your face up to this point, your skin at least, it is never too late to start. You don't have to go all crazy cuckoo like I did and get, microdermabrasion. If you don't want to do that or can't afford it, then don't do it. It's okay. You're going to be okay. But what you can do today, like today, if you don't do anything else, just use a makeup or foundation with some sun protection and some moisturizer. That's it. It's easy. So just do that one thing. And then you'll start to see over time that your skin will look better and better. Also, at night, take off everything. Go to bed with no makeup on. You'll live. Your husband will live. Everybody will live. It'll be fine. And moisturize at night, and then see if that's enough for you for the next day. It might be. For me, I have kind of oily skin, so I know this is why, because I wore a full face of makeup yesterday, and so I had like a lot of moisturizer on my face. So when I put that moisture on earlier, I was like, this is going to be kind of a... And I'm right. I'm shiny and because I have oily skin. So tonight when I go to bed, I will take it all off, and I probably won't put moisturizer on tonight. Maybe just on my nose where it gets a little drier. And that's it, because I know that tomorrow I will look like sunshiny and oily. Anyway, so here I am in my office. Here I am. So see, I'm like your average size woman. I got a little bit of hair, and I got those, but that's all good. So, and I'm wearing some cargo shorts. I'm not wearing anything fancy. Look at my belly button. Oh, that was kind of unnecessary, wasn't it? Anyway, so there I am. Here I am. Don't look like a runner, do I? Guess what? I'm a runner. So when you see those fat people running down the street, don't make fun of them. For all you know, they just started this week, or they've been doing it a long time. Either way, just leave those people alone. They're just out there trying to be a little healthy. I did it for my heart health. Heart disease runs in my family, and colon cancer does too. So I'm doing the things that I can to prevent those two things. And running is helping with my heart health. Of course, I consulted a doctor before exercise. Anyway, have a great day. This video was way longer than I anticipated, but I hope you got something out of it. And if you did, great. And if you didn't, fine. If you would like, please put some comments for suggestions. Like if you're like, oh, you might try this color of eyeshadow, or you might try this color of blush or makeup or whatever, or how about this for a hair color? That'd be cool. I've been coloring my hair for a very long time. I started going gray very early, so I've been everything from dark brown to red, light red, really super platinum blonde, to the color I am now, which is blonde but not like platinum. So, I'm open to all those suggestions. If you want to get on and comment, oh my gosh, please have that rhinoplasty done because your nose is hella big. You can comment that, but just kind of know that I don't care what you have to say about that. But I do care about, if you want to say something nice, great. If you want to say something mean, I'll just ignore you. I won't respond to you, because why would I? If somebody gets on and says, oh my gosh, you have such a huge nose, why would I respond to that? I'm just not going to. So I know it's big. I know. I see me. I see me. I know I have wrinkles in my neck. I know. It's okay. And guess what? If you have wrinkles in your neck, it's okay. You're all right. Don't sweat it. And besides, what other people think about how I look is not really their business. It's how I feel. And when I wear my makeup like this, I feel like I can go to the grocery store and not scare small children. That was the goal today. And also a nice way to not scare small children is to be nice to them and talk to them. Yeah, so just be nice, people. Comment what you want. I'll look at the suggestion ones and go, ooh, that's a really good idea, and I probably will try it. And then we'll see how it works out. And if I like it, great. And if I don't like it, I won't do it again. But hey, that's the way life is. And if you put in something negative and mean, I'll look at it and go, okay, goodbye. And that's it. I won't drop you or whatever. I'll just never respond to you. So there's that. Have a wonderful day. Take care of yourself. Let's see. Take care of yourself and each other, right? Isn't that what Jerry Springer used to say? Ooh, Jerry Springer.